You.
Okay. Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Good.
I guess on a short week, what's the pitching plan for Thursday, and do you know your rotation?
Yeah, it is a real short week. So we're gonna. I think as of right now, we'll start Bolden. We'll start Bolden Thursday. Friday, we'll go with Paulette, and then we'll go TBA game 3. And as you guys know, the weather is really crazy down there. So there is definite possibility for a second game on Friday. We won't know that until tomorrow. So, but we've been in contact with them, and that could happen. So it could be a real short week for a lot of our guys.
Yeah, I've always been lousy at math, but I think if you have to play doubleheader Friday, that'll be 6 SEC games in 7 days, 2 doubleheaders, all 9-inning games. Uh, you got a lot of big series left. You got the SEC tournament. You hope you have a long NCAA tournament run. How do you manage the staff without overtaxing them this one particular weekend, but still obviously try to give your team the best chance to win? That seems like a pretty challenging balancing act to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it's going to take someone like a Bolden to step up and give us some good innings on Thursday. If we have a chance to win the game, we'll do whatever we need to do to win it with our pitching staff. And, we're going to, we'll have, it looks like we got Vermillion back this weekend. Looks like Connor Nolan is going to be available possibly Friday, but if we played Saturday for sure, because we've still been bullpenning him and building him up, but he feels great, so he says, and he looks good. So maybe we're going to get some guys back that can help us down the stretch with a little bit of experience. But we didn't play a game last night, so obviously we didn't have to maybe dip into some of our weekend relievers to try to win a game. So there's a little bit of rest there, and yeah, that's just the way it is. Why you got to have a lot of pitchers, and you got to have a team, and not just a few guys that can help you. We got to have guys that maybe haven't been a big part of it yet, whether it's because of injury or just they haven't been pitching well or whatever. It's time for them to help us out.
Yeah, I got a couple more. I'll turn it back over. Thanks, Dave.
Jacob?
Dave, no midweek game this week, and now no midweek game next week either. At this point in the season, is that a good thing to help you guys get rested up, or is it more important to be playing games?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I don't think it's a bad thing. Obviously, it could be a good thing if we go out and we throw some guys that need to pitch and they do a good job, and maybe somebody gets it going offensively that they can take it into the weekend. But you never really know at this time of year how it affects you. I know one thing, that we'll be a lot more rested. Our arms should be a little fresher for the weekends. Playing 2 really offensive teams the next 2 weekends on the road. Going to take some big efforts by some pitchers to stop them. So, that's a good question. I would say next Tuesday. Obviously, we do not have a game at the moment. We are looking for some teams, but a lot of teams, they don't want to travel this time of year. They've already done their travel. And so I would say as of now, we're probably not going to be playing anybody next week before we head to LSU. So we'll use that time to rest and get stronger and get better through some workouts. But I think it would be an issue if we had a different record maybe overall, or we hadn't done very well outside of conference, where we needed to get some wins. But I don't feel like wins are you want to win those games, but it's not like we got to build a resume too much. We just need to do well in league. Hey.
Yeah, Dave, you didn't mention Wicklander. Is there anything wrong with him, or is he still in the rotation for the weekend?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with him at all, except he's had short rest. So, we could use him out of the pen on Thursday for an inning. We could save him to start on Friday if we played 2, or we could just save him till Saturday. If Saturday's iffy, or we're not sure, we don't know how we're going to use him yet, but he's fine. He threw really well last week. We just, he's short rest. That's why he's not starting tomorrow. Could see him out of the pen tomorrow, but he'll pitch on Friday if he doesn't pitch Thursday and for a short stint. So we're just trying to figure out how to use him right now due to playing not till Saturday and then playing on Thursday.
And with Noland and Vermillion, is that just kind of just play by ear on how you'd use them?
Well, Vermillion, I mean, he's good to go. I mean, we rested him basically 2 weeks, pitched a little bit down at Ole Miss. And, he had some soreness, so we didn't mess with it. He seems to be 100% now. So he'll either start or be out of the bullpen. I would guess he would be out of the bullpen tomorrow or Friday early. If we don't use him and we feel like right-handers do better against their right-handed hit lineup than our lefties would, we could go that route too. So, and then with Connor, obviously he hasn't pitched in a couple months. So we're just going to try to pick the right situation for him. We're not planning on starting him, but we would definitely bring him out of the pen.
And South Carolina, just any overall assessment on them?
On who? South Carolina?
Yeah.
They're a powerful team. They can hit some home runs. They can score quick on you. They got power arm going at us tomorrow. They're going to be probably anywhere from 93 to 96 most of the time. And pretty much the same type of guys the next 2 days, right-handers that throw hard with pretty good secondary pitch. And they're good at home. They played really well at home. They beat you in their own ballpark. So we're going to have to play well. Defensively, they're solid. They're 8-5 in league play after the first half, and they played some tough teams. So it's not like you can say they're playing teams that haven't done well. They've played good teams that have winning records.
Thank you.
Hutch.
Dave, we haven't seen Lockhart out of the bullpen this year. I mean, would you be comfortable with him in that role? And also, how much would he be available if y'all did have to play a doubleheader on Friday since he just pitched on Sunday?
Yeah, he'd definitely be out of the bullpen. He's going to be out of the bullpen. We're not starting him this weekend. So we're not sure we're going to start the third game, but he's out of the pen and he knows that. He's good with it. And, this is the way it's all worked out with him throwing Sunday, short week, probably the best thing. So hopefully he can come in and give us some quality innings or come in and get a good left-handed hitter out, whatever it takes to help the team win.
And I was reading this morning, I guess South Carolina is going to increase the capacity at their ballpark this weekend. And how do you feel like y'all have played on the road? I mean, it seems like it's gone pretty well this year.
Well, I know they're not going to have more fans than Mississippi State or Ole Miss had, so it'll be business as usual for us. We were told that they were opening it up, and so that's a little bit of an issue with the rain. If we do play 2 on Friday, it'll, instead of maybe an hour between games, it might be 2 hours. Maybe they're going to just set a time, but it's not going to be like we're going to sit around for 3 or 4 hours. But maybe not an hour, and we're fine with that. But because they want to clear it out, they would try to make a little bit of money and let more fans in, and it just feels a little more normal, honestly. Bill? Bob, back to you.
Yeah, Dave, why did you decide to go with Bolden, and what are you expecting from him?
Well, he's our freshest guy. Really, if you look at our starters, unless we decide to go with Vermillion, but we're not sure about that. I mean, he could come in right off of Caleb. Caleb started some games for us over the last few weeks, and he threw pretty good the other day. And, we just feel like that we needed to start a right-hander, and that's what we have against their team. But I don't know. I mean, he has some games where he's thrown really well. If he can get us off to a good start, that would be big. But we've got a lot of guys that are ready to go. We just need to eat up some innings and get into that game a little bit.
And then you can take 27 guys, right? Is that right?
30.
On the trip, 27 players.
30 now. Just this year.
Okay.
They expanded it.
Do you
this year.
juggle? Do you take an extra pitcher or two because of the situation you're in?
Yeah, we take a bunch of pictures. We take, I mean, it's, we are taking an extra pitcher this year, this weekend, and over what we've done in the past, one more pitcher. So, you know, there could be a chance that we might need a lot of guys.
How many pitchers is that? Like a dozen or 13 or?
More than that,
Can
probably
you
about
tell
15.
me 15?
Probably about
Okay. Well, 50. Okay. About, and then so one more, you know me, I'm lousy at math, but I think I got this right. I think the Carolina LSU series started on Thursday. They played Thursday. They had a rain out, and then they had a doubleheader. And because that was the last day, they played 7. They played 14 innings. You guys played 19. This will be if there is a doubleheader Friday, they'll play 6 SEC games in 9 days. It's usually 10. You'll play 6 in 7 days. That's a pretty big difference, 9 and 7. And I know, you know, it's not anybody's fault, I guess, but do you feel like that puts you at a disadvantage?
Well, they've definitely had rest. They started their series early, so that's why they feel like that they can bring their, you know, their Friday guy who pitched last Thursday. He's going to get pretty much normal rest. I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, you know, it's baseball and you travel, things happen, you have weather, and you just have to go handle it. If it was a big, you know, a 2 or 3 days deal where, you know, we just got done playing, they've been done for 10 days, you know, I might feel that way, but I don't think so. I don't feel like either team's probably tired at this time of year, and just looking forward to a big series.
Thanks, Dave.
Hutch, anything else?
Yeah, I just got one more. You mentioned you're kind of looking for somebody for next midweek. Would you be, if you can't find anybody for that midweek, would you possibly look for the following midweek? I don't think there's anybody that week either before the Arkansas State.
Yeah, we can't play that day. That's finals. We're right in the middle of finals. So we actually give them a couple, 3 days off there and practice, have a couple of light practices before we play the weekend that finals in. So we always give them that Monday, Tuesday, and sometimes most of Wednesday off to handle their, you know, their school.
Gotcha.
He gave Heston Toll an inning at the end of the A&M game last week. I think that was the first time he's thrown on a weekend. What have you thought of him, and how much could he potentially factor into your weekend bullpen moving forward?
Well, you know, we're traveling him again, and we did pitch him in that game to see how he would do. And what we see is he throws strikes. He's got a good slider, and I don't feel like that he's all stressed out there. I feel like that he just goes out there and competes. And yeah, I mean, he's on the roster. He's traveling. We could use him for sure.
You know, he didn't pitch a whole lot until about midway through the season. I think Matt told me a few weeks ago that he had stood out to him in practice. What have you seen from him in those types of settings?
Well, that's what we saw, both of us, and we all saw it. You know, he came in, and you know, we'd go play on the weekend or come back from a trip, and you know, we have a little bit of time at the end of, you know, the next practice where we throw some guys and let some guys that haven't hit much or haven't played on the weekend get some live at bats. And Heston's been one of the guys that we've been throwing, and he's been getting after our hitters pretty good. And you know, more than that, he was just throwing a lot of strikes, and you know, he looked like a guy that we could trust to, you know, to come in the game and at least, you know, make him swing the bat. Because you know, a lot of times when you get into, you know, late in the games, it's more about not giving guys free passes, especially if you've got a 4 or 5 run lead. Make them earn it. The way they get back in the game is if you walk them or hit them or make errors. And we just felt like Heston could help us out. It's been interesting to just watch his demeanor and watch the way he handled it. And he looks like he's good.
Jacob, anything else? All right, Nate finishes off.
Yeah. I'm fine.
Thanks for your time, Coach.